Shalom, Lekem, Kal Yashara'al. How's your peace, Israel? Welcome back to another video. And we are back at it with the topic at hand, which is the role of the prophets. Okay? And we're going to pick it up in the book of Exodus, chapter 3. Okay? Verse 1. And it reads on this wise. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight. Why the bush does not burn up? When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer. God said, Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them cry out because of their slave drivers, and I'm concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them and the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites have reached me, and I see the way of the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, and I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Okay? We're dealing with the topic, the role of the prophets. And we just read out the book of Exodus, which was dealing with Moses' call at the bush, the burning bush. Okay? Now we're going to go into the book of Isaiah. Okay? Chapter 6, verse 1. Okay? And it reads in this wise. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and exalted, seated on a throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphim, with each with six wings. With two wings they covered their faces, and two they covered their feet, and with two they were flying. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, I cried. I am in ruin, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it he touched my mouth and said, See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin is atoned for. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And he said, Here I am, send me. Right? That's coming out of the book of Isaiah. That was Isaiah's prophetic calling through a vision of God's throne. Okay? We're dealing with the role of the prophets. Okay? Now we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah. Okay, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, and verse 4. We're going to pick up verse 4, and it reads on this wise. The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I am too young. But the Lord said to me, Do not say, I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to, and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appointed you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and to overthrow, to build and to plant. Okay? That was Jeremiah's appointment as a prophet to the nations. And we're dealing with the role of the prophets. Okay, we're going to segue into the book of Enoch. Okay, chapter 12, verse 1. It reads in this wise. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty, and the King of the ages. And lo, the watchers called me Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go, declare to the watchers of the heaven, who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as the children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity. But mercy and peace shall ye not attain. Okay, that was Enoch's prophetic commission to speak to the fallen angels, and we're dealing with the role of the prophets. We're going to go into 2nd Baruch, chapter 15. Okay, pick it up in verse 1. And it reads, and Yahweh answered and said to me, You are rightly astonished about man's departure, but your judgment about the evils which befell those whose sin is incorrect. And with regard to what you say about the righteous who are taken away and the wicked ones who are happy, and with regard to what you say that man does not know your judgment. For this reason now listen, I shall speak to you, and pay attention, and I shall let my words be heard. It is true that man would not have understood my judgment if he had not received the Torah, and if he were not instructed with understanding. But now because he trespassed, having understanding, he will be punished because he has understanding. And with regard to the righteous ones, those whom you said the world has come on their account, yes, also that which is coming is on their account. For this world is to them a struggle and an effort with much trouble, and that according which will come a crown of great splendor. Okay, that was Baruch's role in delivering warnings of the coming destruction to Israel. Right, we're gonna go into, and we're dealing with the role of the prophets, right, as we've been going through, right, and we're gonna look at the testimony of Moses, also known as the Assumption of Moses. Okay, and we're going to pick up in chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the book of the prophecy of Moses, which was made in the 120th year of his life, that is 2,500 years from the creation of the world, or according to Eastern reckoning, 2,700 years, and 400 from the exodus from Phoenicia, when the people had gone forth after the exodus that was made by Moses to Ammon beyond the Jordan. The prophecy that was made by Moses in the book of Deuteronomy, when he called unto Joshua the son of Nun, a man approved of the Lord, who should be the minister of the people and of the tabernacle of the testimony with all its holy things, and should bring the people into the land that was given to their fathers, that it should be given to them by the covenant and the oath which he spake in the tabernacle to give it by Joshua. And he spoke to Joshua these words, Promise to perform all diligence whatsoever thou hast commanded, that thou mayest so act to be blameless before God. These things said the Lord of the world, for he created the world on account of his own people, though he began not to make manifest this purpose of creation from the beginning of the world, that the Gentiles might be confounded on the matter, and to their shame might confound one another in arguments. And so he planted and ordained me, who before of old was prepared to be the mediator of his covenant. And now I tell you that the time of the years of my life is finished, and I passed to sleep with my fathers in the sight of all the people. And read thou this writing, that thou mayest have regard to the safe keeping of the books, which I shall deliver thee, which thou shalt arrange and smear with oil of cedar, and lay upon the vessels of earthenware, in the place which God made from the beginning of the creation of the world, that his name might be called on even to the day of repentance in the visitation, wherewith the Lord will visit them in consummation of the end of the days. That was Moses' final prophetic words about the future of Israel. Okay, and we're dealing with the role of the prophets. Last scripture, we're going to go to the book of Ezra, 4th Ezra, chapter 14, we're going to pick up at verse 19. Okay. And it reads, Then I answered and said, Let me speak in your presence, Yahweh. Behold, Yahweh, I will go as you have commanded me, and reprove the people which are present, but they shall be born afterwards. Who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For your Torah is burnt, therefore no man knows the things that are done of you, or the work that shall begin. But if you have found free unmerited favor before you, send the Ruach HaChadesh into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in your Torah, that men may find your path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. And he answered me, saying, Go your way, gather the people together, and say to them that they seek you not for 40 days. But look and prepare you many writing tablets, and take with you Sariah, Dabriah, Selemiah, Ethanas, and Aziel, these 5, because they are ready to write swiftly. And come hither, and I shall light a menorah of understanding in your heart, which shall not be put out until the writings and the purpose be performed. And when you have done, some writings shall you publish, and some writings you shall deliver in secret to the wise. Tomorrow at this hour you shall begin to write. And that was dealing with Ezra's prophetic mission to restore God's law after its destruction. So I only hope the reader and listen to this word will be blessed by this. May Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh keep you. May Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you. May Yahweh be gracious to you. May Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you. And may Yahweh grant you everlasting peace in Yeshua HaMashiach's name I pray. Selah.